and welcome on another adventure. Today we are on the edge of the Superstitions here in Lost Dutchman State Park at the Siphon Draw Trailhead, and today we're going to climb up to Flatiron. One note about Lost Dutchman State Park is since it's a state park, you do need an entry fee to get in, so either have an annual pass or bring some cash for a day pass. We're looking at about 5 miles round trip. Today I've got Christine here with me. We're expecting a really fun day, but also a very busy day. This is one of the busier trails in the area, so there'll probably be quite a bit of people on trail. There's already a lot of people at the parking lot, but still should be pretty fun. We've just passed into the Superstition Wilderness, and on the map at least, that demarcates the differentiation between the official trail, and on the map it shows the route as a climber's trail. But as you can see, this route is still well maintained, so even if it is just a climber's trail on the map, I think that we'll have this maintained trail for the entirety of the route up to Flatiron. We knew it was going to be busy, and it has not disappointed so far. We've just passed quite a few very large groups. Some people with 10 or 15 actually in their group. It's kind of crazy up here. Not my typical wilderness experience, but as you can see ahead of us, it is a very cool area, so definitely why it's so popular. And of course it is a Saturday morning, so it will be busy. If you're looking for a little bit more solitude, maybe try to come up here on a weekday. We are most of the way up the Scrambling section. I've been a little preoccupied with climbing, so I haven't filmed too much. But you can see there's Flatiron right above us. So we're almost there. We're just taking a little second to get a breather and enjoy these fantastic views at this point. So let's keep going, we're almost there. Here we are on the Flatiron, and I'm just a little bit lower than the high point. High point's over there. Came down here just to get a little bit of quiet because there are so many people over there. But as you can see, the appeal of the Flatiron is the towering view back towards Phoenix. You can see in the distance there the Sierra Estrellas. You can see close to us are the Goldfield, and then in the distance you can see Camelback. We have really nice views to the west. And a little bit to the south, we have the rest of the Superstition Ridgeline and Superstition Mountain itself. And there's Christine. But if you look directly west, you can see we have more terrain above us, and that is kind of what makes this another one of those peaks that isn't technically a mountain. With only 180 feet of prominence and terrain above us, we don't actually have views, and this is a good example of that. But if you look over there, we actually have what's called Ironview Mountain or Ironview Peak, and maybe for a little bit of extra credit, we'll head over there to see what we can see from there. It should be better views because it actually has over 700 feet of prominence, and it should be some really nice views from there. So maybe we'll do that for a little bit of extra credit and then head back down. So far, we're having a good time today, and if you're enjoying these views as much as I am, remember to hit that like button. To get to Ironview Peak, we just continued a little bit along the Superstition Ridgeline Trail, just a tiny bit past the turnoff for Flatiron. And now we have a faint user path right here to just a little bit past this prominent ridge. That's a sub-ridge of Ironview Peak. And we're gonna start up this user path. And from trip reports, it sounds like there might be a tiny bit of scrambling, but I don't think it should be any worse than what we've done to get up to the saddle between here and Flatiron. We've got Ironview Peak right up behind us, and Christine decided she doesn't want to go on this little extra credit adventure, so she's gonna sit and sunbathe while I take a few minutes to get up to Ironview Peak. But the plan is keep following this use path, and then I'm going to head up this middle wash here, and it looks like that should take us straight up. It might be a little bit of rock hopping, but nothing too big. Progress up the drainage is a little bit slower than I expected, and quite a bit more bushwhacky than I expected. You can see Christine down there in the distance. That's where we just left her a few minutes ago. She's waving. And if you've ever bushwhacked in the desert, you know that is very uncomfortable. For example, these agave are very healthy and very sturdy and very sharp. And found that out more than a couple times. And I might find out again just now. But we're gonna continue on. We're about halfway up to Ironview and should be getting there soon with just a few more pokes on the way. All right, after the bushwhack, it's actually opened up quite a bit, and hopefully it should stay with this kind of rocky texture the rest of the way to the top, which is right there. So hopefully we can find some cactus and agave free route along this rock the rest of the way. Very cool terrain up here though. As you can see, this cool slick rock and these hoodoos, and just everything up here is a lot of fun, and the views are fantastic. We've made it up here to Ironview Peak, our so-called extra credit, but I think as you can see from these views, it's actually a better destination than Flatiron. And it's a good example of how Flatiron isn't really considered a mountain because it does have terrain above it, and the views are kind of closed off from what's behind it. Here on top of Ironview though, we can see as far as you can in all directions, and then of course Flatiron over there, giving us the name Ironview. Wonderful views up here. We have nice views of Four Peaks back here, the rest of the Superstition Ridgeline over here, and over here, Goldfield Mountains, which I've done some trip reports over there, and they certainly look a lot smaller from here, even though they felt big while I was in them. We made it up to 2 points today on our hike in the Superstition Wilderness. The Flatiron stands at an elevation of 4,860 feet and has a prominence of 180 feet. Ironview Peak stands just above the Flatiron at an elevation of 5,024 feet and has a prominence of 784 feet. I would like to express appreciation for the original stewards of this land. The Superstition Wilderness is on the ancestral lands of the Acamelo O'odham peoples and the Hohokam peoples. We've made it back down to the bottom from a really fun trip up to Flatiron and Ironview Peak. Viewers, thank you so much for watching. And if you had a really fun time today, like I did, remember to hit that like button. Thank you so much, Christine, for joining me. Did you have fun today?
So much fun.
We had so much fun today. We'll see you at the top. We need an entry fee, so we either have a state park annual pass or bring some cash for a day pass entry fee. Are you gonna be in it or not?
I don't know.